Hey guys, here were some market updates for the week. So earlier this week, there was huge market sell-offs that had happened. A lot of that was predicated because of the fact that Trump had decided to launch tariff threats against the European nation for deciding to protect Greenland. Obviously, Trump has had huge interest in acquiring the nation. On Tuesday evening, Trump was able to somewhat come to a deal. A lot of it is packaged around getting mineral rights to the nation and also adding more military services. So since then, he has backed off on his tariff threats, and markets have rebounded since. So this phenomenon is just also known as TACO, which stands for Trump always chickens out. A lot of the investment strategies that he's really trying to use this as is just more of a ploy to get a deal of some kind. I think after last year and seeing the market sell-offs that had happened, I think he's very aware that this isn't really a good thing to do for the long term. Now, other market things to pay attention to: SpaceX is currently speaking with 4 banks for its potential IPO this year. Alibaba is currently preparing to list its chip-making division for an IPO. And Netflix is still continuing their deal for their bid for Warner Bros. For a new proposed $83 billion, so be on the lookout for that. A final piece of news to pay attention to is the Trump versus Cook outcome, which is going to determine the federal independence. Trump is trying very hard to control the Federal Reserve, to control interest rates. However, the federal independence is what causes and helps create a very stable US economy, but because of these kinds of moves, a lot of countries abroad are slowly shifting their assets and capital to different countries as a safer haven, as the US dollar is not as strong as it used to be. So one of the other issues that this comes up with as well is the fact that a brief history lesson is during the 70s, President Nixon had actually used lowering interest rates as his way for his campaign to win the presidential election. He had pressured then Chairman Arthur Burns to lowering interest rates, to which he finally caved, and that had caused high inflation and essentially, in simple terms, created a stagnant growth economy, which is basically an affordability crisis. Homes are getting out of touch for people. Cost of living was getting very, very expensive. So, leaving the Federal Reserve chairman to one of his, so to speak, colleagues can cause a lot of market repercussions. So hopefully that doesn't happen and he's able to see things from a broader view. So that's my market updates for the week. Bye.